What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Cyberpunk 2077. Right now I will be going over 10 important features that should have been in the game, players would like to see in the game, or features that just make sense. Before we get started, I'd like to invite you to follow this channel by tapping the subscribe and like button below to stay up to date with more important gaming videos coming very soon. Thank you so much for the follow, and let's get started. Alright, so first and foremost, I want to point out the obvious, and that is Cyberpunk 2077 was a rushed launch, leading to many bugs, glitches, and missing features that people simply wanted to see in the game. This is outside of the obvious performance issues many have pointed out before. Besides this, Cyberpunk 2077 has the potential to still be an amazing experience for players once many of the bugs are fixed, and still is a great experience for many players that have been reported. With this being said, here are 10 important features that should have either been in the game from launch or just haven't made their way into the game yet. So to start with, let's talk about clothing / armor transmog. As many players have pointed out, in order to get the best stats from your clothing or armor, you will find yourself looking rather dysfunctional, like you were dressed by a 6-year-old. Clothing transmog would allow you to simply change how your clothes or armor look while keeping the stats of the actual clothing or armor underneath. Players would then be more enthusiastic about going out and collecting more clothes for their wardrobe, thus giving everyone a more unique identity as well. Moving on to third person. Now, for some, this really doesn't matter, but third person could potentially be a good feature to add in the future. Combine this with the ability to toggle on and off of enemies, and you have your basic third person action / adventure game. Having the option to go third person can often give players a unique feeling towards their character from seeing how they customize them with clothing, body changes, and features, and so forth. Sure, Cyberpunk 2077 is all about first person V, but being able to be in third person while you explore isn't a bad idea. Now, moving on to probably one of the most important features that many people were disappointed to not have seen made it into the game, and that is deep character customization. From previous gameplay or snapshots prior to release, many fans saw what was promised to be a deep customization within Cyberpunk for your character. Anything from facial features to body size, new tattoos, and so forth. A game like Cyberpunk 2077 needs to have a deep character customization, regardless, in order to allow players to feel as if their character or adventure is unique to them specifically. This should then also transition over into the game after you have started as well, where you can continue to customize your character anytime throughout the game and unlock new customizations. Next, and without a doubt, the police or wanted system feels very unfinished, unpolished, and honestly only in the game because we expect law enforcement to exist. However, there is no current reward, events, or activities for having a high wanted level. Some players simply want to cause hell throughout Night City and earn some rewards from doing so, but at the moment, not only does this not exist, but the entire system itself needs to be reworked and updated. Moving on to more customization specifically for your vehicles and apartment. I was very upset to learn that you could only have one real apartment to live in for the entirety of the game, and on top of this, you can't even customize your apartment with new furniture or expansions, etc. Sure, I'm not expecting us to have the whole Sims reality feel going on here, but it would be nice to have some customization. When we have a game about a specific character we grow to love and intertwine with, we as players really want the ability to obtain new houses or apartments, customize our vehicles with new wheels or decal that fits us, and so forth. Especially for continued playtime as we try to gather all the money we can to buy the ultimate condo or mansion. Also, I think if they're talking about multiplayer in the future, this is going to be very important for kind of keeping your clique together, right? You want to make sure that you can customize your character, customize your outfits, make sure that you guys are rocking the same logos, etc., right? One of the main things about Cyberpunk 2077 when you look at the different areas on the map are the different gangs that obviously are associated with those regions, right? So if you're going to be starting your own or you're going to be joining one, etc., for multiplayer, you need to make sure that you have that customization effect in the game, so that way you guys can all rock together in style. Now, honestly, I don't know why this doesn't exist, but you cannot currently respec your attributes for V. Sure, you could respec your perks for 100,000 eddies, but why not your attributes? In order to do so, you need to play a new campaign and basically start over, which many simply just don't want to do. If this were the case, allow us to be different characters and at the load screen, have the ability to choose your character under a specific life path. Either way, this should be added soon because many of us who want to constantly respec and try new builds should have the option to do so, even if it comes at a pretty hefty price tag. Moving on to in-game events. Now, I don't know what the studio plans to do for Cyberpunk 2077 in terms of in-game events, but I will acknowledge that these would be amazing to have and would keep players excited for new content, new DLC, new in-game events, and so forth. Let's be honest, the gaming industry is slowly learning that players have high expectations for continued updates and in-game events or activities during times like the holidays or certain celebrated dates. Is it hard to manage with a game that is so large? Absolutely, and they need to prioritize many of the bugs first, but it would be worth it in the end. Alright, so moving on to more customization regarding weapon modding and crafting. There are many improvements or features to add under this topic, so let's point out the obvious. Attachments and mods for weapons seem very unfinished and that there isn't much of a variety to choose from. There are several mods and attachments for each weapon, yes, but it still feels very incomplete. Either adding more mods and attachments would be nice, or the ability to tune them at V's apartment would rather be interesting and fun to do. Customization is another big thing we should be able to do to customize our weapons cosmetically and physically. Sure, we don't want a full escape from Tarkov aspect here, but we do need more to think about and tinker with when it comes to weapon modding and customization. Last but not least are minimap adjustments. For starters, the most annoying thing to me at the moment is trying to find a fast travel station that will not show up on my minimap, or at least indicate where it is within the vicinity, leading me to reopen my map, mark the fast travel just to use the fast travel, and then forget where the hell I'm going. Markers and indicators need to be added to the mini-map. Many players have also asked for the minimap to be zoomed out while driving, which I couldn't agree with more, and it should be as simple as having settings available to players to actually tune your minimap. So those are just a small list of features that should be available within Cyberpunk 2077. Some of them simple enough to add, and others probably require a lot more time and thought to make sure they integrate with the game properly. Hopefully, as thousands of bugs get reported and fixed, the studio behind Cyberpunk will start to roll out some new features that were either missing or never made the final cut before launch. First, and this is very important, I do want your opinions and thoughts on these features that I've mentioned, or other features that you think should be in the game and why. Just leave those in the comments below, and maybe we can get a decent list going that can eventually be passed on to somebody that matters, right? So be sure to comment, tap the like and subscribe button to follow this channel, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.